Yes.
Okay. All set?
Yeah.
All right, well, hello everyone. Before we get started, I just want to ask you a quick question. So, what do you guys think in regards to a definition of art? How would you guys define the actual term art? Michelle?
I think that art is something, or like I guess anything that would be made by someone or something that's conscious and makes somebody else feel an emotion.
Okay, that's actually a really good definition. Kim?
Something that you can capture and express your emotions, and pretty much that's it.
Actually, those are really good definitions. And I'm here for you guys today to persuade you guys into my definition of art. Maybe you guys can see things a little bit better. Now, in regards to what I think art should be defined as human creativity and expression through 8 different forms of art. So these are the main categories, and then the art forms will be like subcategories. So these 8 categories would be architecture, dance, music, literature, painting, performing, poetry, and also sculpture. So, obviously my definition isn't the only one that's out there today. There are 2 other definitions out there that I think are pretty good, but they need some major work. So the first one is David Clowney. His definition is actually about the origins of fine art. So for one, that doesn't exactly fit within the actual term, because art shouldn't really be categorized under a certain time period because it's still relevant today. So yes, it does fall into certain categories. He does categorize them sort of how like I do with the architecture, the dance, the literature. But what he does not do is, there is nothing in his definition about actual human creativity or expression, which is actually the first half of my definition. And without human creativity or expression, art simply isn't a thing that would exist. Now, the other definition that I would like to compare today is with Stephen Davies. Yeah, that is correct, Stephen Davies. So, his definition is basically, in his article, he is comparing against what philosophers think of other definitions of art. So, his is actually, for one, very extensive and indeed very complex. His has 3 different parts to it. So the first part is whatever an artist is creating has to be under a publicly known art form, which doesn't really make much sense. There's a lot of people in the world that don't exactly know about certain art forms. You can maybe walk up to someone on the street and you can ask them, hey, what do you think minimalism is? Odds are they're going to look at you and be like, I have no idea. I did not major in art in college. Or I have never been to an art museum that would give me some knowledge on what minimalism is. So that's the first part of this definition. The second part is the art piece has to show an impressive array of skill. Now there's also a problem with this, because not everyone starts off with the same skill level if you want to become an artist. You may have someone that maybe wanted to be an artist ever since middle school, or you may have someone who decided, okay, it's my junior year of college, I want to switch majors, I want to become an art major. Right there is a major gap with experience. Not everyone starts off with the same skill set in mind. Everyone's style is different. So also with judging, when you look at someone's piece, you're not always going to say, hey, I really like this piece, I think it's a work of art. The next person beside you might basically say, I disagree. So that's another thing, varying opinions. Now, the final piece of it is it's intended to be art. This is the part that I agree with the most by far, because typically artists, when they want to create, they already have it in their mind. Hey, I want this to be a piece of artwork. Now, they may not know what they want to do with it. They may want to sell it. They may want to donate it to a museum. you have no idea, in all honesty. That's just how it works with other artists. So, overall, on a good note for this definition, it is much better than David Clowney's, but I basically think it's way too complex, and it needs to be, instead of 3 different parts of a definition, maybe just include it to be one definition, maybe 2 sentences at the most. So, overall, why is this even important? The point of this is so people don't have such a narrow vision of what art is. Some people have a blind eye to what art actually is. You may see a painting on a wall and most people will think, okay, that's a piece of art. While someone may be reading a book, a person might not think, that's not art. When technically literature is an art form, because that is someone's human creativity and their thought process and ideas spilled onto the pages of that book, especially if the genre is under fantasy. So also, why else is this important? Art is a very, very broad idea or concept, and people need to be more open to it being so broad. People need to broaden their sights when it comes to it. They need to see that everything within the 8 categories is art. Poetry, that's art. Music and theater, that's art. Painting, especially, that's art. So, the good versus bad in regards to my definition, as I said before, it is expression and creativity of humans through the 8 different forms of art. So, on a good note, I think we do have a happy medium here. It's not too long, not too short. It's not too elaborate, but it's also not insanely brief as to what it could be. I'm telling you flat out, it's human creativity and expression through these main categories, and then the subcategories are the specific art forms in itself, such as maybe calligraphy or something such as that. But I'm also not afraid to acknowledge that there is bad in my regards to my definitions, because the categorizing may be a little bit off. So maybe a certain art form might not fit within one of these main 8 that I'm letting out, but at least it covers the majority. So in conclusion, I think my definition definitely covers so much ground compared to all of the other ones. Certain definitions were either way too narrow or way too complex, way too long. People may not even come to understand them. I also think that mine stays relevant because in the first definition that we discussed with the origins of fine art, the key word there that distorts the definition is the word origins. Origins as in maybe the 14th, 15th century, which that's not relevant to this time, and especially fine art. So you're referring to maybe theater or dance. That's not covering studio art for what people may be going to college for. People might not always go for fine art. They might want to go for studio because that's what they're more passionate about. Also, my definition includes creativity in there, unlike the first or second definition. It does not discuss that certain point, which is very important because, again, without that, art's not going to exist. You need the creativity to be there from a human being. And also, even though my definition doesn't really cover every single piece of art forms in a way, at least it covers the vast majority of everything. So, to wrap everything up, art, it's something that expands from day to day, and there's new art forms that are always being created. You have art forms that may not have existed a long time ago, such as graphic design, because of the advances in technology. And I believe that my own definition will definitely cover all of these unique art forms to come. And that's my speech.
That was good.